जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Very happy and grateful to be amidst all of you all here once again. I'd like to welcome all of you for the second session on the Mystical Tales for a Magical Life series that we're doing. So today I'll be talking to you all about a very interesting story from the Puranic texts. A part of this story is also mentioned in the Mahabharata. So this story is a story about good and bad, good and evil people. So typically our understanding is the Devatas are good and the Daityas are bad. Today we are going to get a very different perspective of what is the meaning of good and bad. And this story again is one amazing story. You will love it and you'll learn a lot from it. Okay, so I hope all of you are ready and excited to hear this very amazing story. So to help us understand the mood in which we study this story, or rather we understand this story, let me begin with another story. So this story will set the mood for the main story. There was once a villager, once a man. He was not really having any money, not really having much to eat. Somehow he survived. And one day he happened to go to the forest. And while he was in the forest, he saw a very strange scene. He saw there was a fox, a jackal, who was two-legged, only two legs he had. And he was like literally dragging himself from one place to another with two legs, hardly able to walk. But what he saw was a jackal was fat and very, healthy looking. So he was amazed. How is it this, animal has only two legs, hardly able to walk, it's lying down in one place, but it is still so fat. So he decided to observe, because he could relate with that jackal very much, because he also was helpless, destitute, and he was also not having anything to survive. And he said, maybe I'll learn something by observing this animal. What he saw shocked him. After some time, he saw a lion coming to this jackal with a big chunk of meat in its mouth. And the lion dropped it in front of the jackal. And the jackal ate that. So he was thinking, Arey, how great God is. God is making such arrangements for this fellow. So if God can make arrangement for this animal, why he can't make arrangement for me? He decided, I am also going to fast. And I'll remain over here only. And I'm sure God will make some arrangement for food for me. Next 5 days, he didn't eat anything, he didn't drink anything, hoping that God will come. After 5-6 days, one saintly person was going from that side. And he saw this fellow lying down over here, helpless, so hungry, so emaciated. So the saintly person asked him, what happened to you? Why are you dying like this? Why didn't you go and find some food to eat? This man said, I'm waiting for God to send. Saintly person said, what do you mean by waiting for God to send? Then he told him this whole story about how he saw this lion, getting food for this jackal. And he said, if lion can get food for jackal, somebody can get for me also. So I was waiting for somebody to get. This wise man told him, instead of learning from the jackal, why didn't you learn from the lion? To go and help somebody else. Isn't it? So there are different ways you can learn. He chose to learn from the jackal, but he didn't choose to learn from the lion. That he's going and helping somebody who's helpless. So the way in which we look at good and bad, we look at right and wrong, we look at what is giving and taking, is based on what we think is right. But that may not necessarily be the only way of looking at good and bad, isn't it? So today, I'm going to tell you all a story of good and bad. And this story of good and bad will help us look at good and bad from a different perspective. It will help us realign ourselves in understanding how we can perceive good and bad in our lives. So this story begins with a discussion between the Daityas and their guru Shukracharya. Shukracharya is the guru of the Daityas, a very powerful sage. Once all the Daityas, the demons, they caught their guru Shukracharya and they asked him a question. They said, how can you let us down like this? We always had faith in you. We always believed that you are our teacher. We always believed that you will guide us always. But suddenly you have become good to the Devatas. And you have let us down. How do we trust you now? And why did you do this to us? Like this, the Daityas caught Shukracharya and they are asking him. Shukracharya told the Daityas, just trust me. Whatever I am doing it for you all only. So Daityas said, how can we trust you? You are going and sitting in the heavens with the demigods. They are our enemies. They are our sworn enemies. And you are going and sitting with them for last so many weeks you have been with them only. How can we trust you that your intention is good and you have not changed sides? Shukracharya said, let me explain to you my plan. He told them that I am going for a long penance. And this long penance that I am going, I'll be away for a considerable duration of time. And when I'm away for a considerable duration of time, I don't want the Devatas to attack you. So that the Devatas don't attack you, I'm going and sitting with them and making friends with them. So that the Devatas will think that because I am on their side now, all of you are weak and don't have any support. And the Devatas will think that the demons have become weak and don't have support. The Devatas will not even look at you all. and it will give me the right amount of time to go and finish my tapasya and come back. And then we'll make a strategy to win against the Devatas forever. So Shukracharya explained this whole strategy to the demons. So when the demons heard this, then they felt a little better. Because till now they thought that Shukracharya has changed his sides. And they felt very bad. But after hearing the plan, understanding that Shukracharya actually, from a long-term point of view, wants to help them only, they felt good. Every leader has to answer tough questions. Now, what is the meaning of tough questions? Tough questions are questions that are uncomfortable. There are many leaders in this world who don't want their followers to ask them tough questions. Why? Because many tough questions they don't have answer only. And many tough questions they don't want to answer. Because they have some other thought in their mind. But Shukracharya was very open here. He gave a proper answer to the demons and they felt satisfied. So, when doubts plague you, you have two options. Either you allow the disease to grow, or you go and ask someone tough questions. So many times when we have doubts in our mind, we keep it inside us. We don't ask anybody. And then the doubt grows and grows and grows and grows, till at some point it becomes so big that we lose faith. The second way is that go and ask somebody tough questions. So in the Ramayana, Lord Ram once was made unconscious, tied up by the Nagapash sent by Meghnad, by Indrajit. So Indrajit sent this Nagapash, Ram collapsed on the ground. So when Ram and Lakshman were unconscious with the Nagapash, Hanumanji went and called Garuda. Garuda came. And as soon as Garuda reached that battlefield, the Nagas saw Garuda and ran away. And Ram, Lakshman and all came back to life. So Garuda, he helped Ram relieve himself from the Nagapash, right? From the snakes. Garuda, he got a little confused. He said, if this is God, then how come he himself is tied by a snake? So apparently he helped Ram come out from the snake, but Garuda got bitten by a snake of doubt. So he got confused. He went to Narad Muni and he asked him, he went to Lord Brahma and he asked him that, I saw this. I saw Ram lying down like that unconscious. How do I understand this? I went to help him, but now I got doubt on him only. So Brahma said, see, I also keep getting a lot of doubts like this, so I can't help you. So he said, there's only one person who can help you, that is Lord Shiva. Go and ask him. So then Garuda went to Lord Shiva and he asked him this question. And Shiva was the right person to answer this question because Shiva doesn't get bitten by snakes. He uses snakes as ornaments. There's no other person in the world who uses snakes as ornaments. Shiva is so transcendental, he doesn't get bitten by the snakes of doubts, but he uses snakes only as ornaments. And Lord Shiva explained the mood of Lord Ram to Garuda. And he explained that Ram falling unconscious is from a human perspective. And from a divine perspective, from your perspective, you should understand, Ram fell unconscious to give you some service, to serve him, to give an opportunity to serve him. So the Lord in his pastimes creates many opportunities and he also creates many confusions, many doubts. Every doubt that Ram creates in his Leela, in his pastimes, is simply to strengthen the faith of the faithful and to weaken the faith of the faithless. So Shiva explained like this, and then Garuda got some clarity, basically. So Shukracharya, he went to do tapasya. He went to a very far off location to do tapasya. And before he went to do tapasya, Shukracharya, he handed over the Daityas, the demons, to Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu was the father of Shukracharya. So Bhrigu Muni had his wife whose name was Khyati, and Khyati was the mother of Shukracharya. So Bhrigu was the father and Khyati was the mother. So Bhrigu handed over the demons to the charge of Shukracharya handed over the demons to the charge of Bhrigu and Khyati, and he went to do tapasya. So Bhrigu and Khyati were taking good care of the demons. And the demons were very bindas because they thought that their guru has made a strategic move, made friendship with the demigods, and he has made proper arrangements. So they were very relaxed. This was the ashram of Bhrigu Muni. It couldn't be more safer for them. And they were just enjoying themselves, relaxing. And Bhrigu Muni had gone for some work outside. When the demons were least expecting it, the demigods attacked. So the demigods also are smart people, They apparently told Shukracharya that we are nice and all that. We are patching up with the demons. But when the moment Shukracharya went away, the demigods attacked. And the demons were completely shocked. They never expected an attack to happen in the ashram of Bhrigu Muni. And the attack was so bad from all directions, the demons were getting beaten up. And Khyati, when she realized that these demons are under her protection and her husband is not there, so she was very concerned. So she tried her best to use her mystical abilities to defend the demons. And at one point, what she did was, she froze Indra. So Indra is the god of the demigods. She froze him. So Indra was frozen like a statue. And the next moment, Khyati was about to kill him. And exactly when Khyati was about to kill Indra, imagine, the king of the demigods only is dead, Just when Khyati was about to kill Indra, that time Lord Vishnu intervened. He came in between and he used his Sudarshan Chakra and cut off the head of Khyati. And Khyati was dead. Yes. Can we ask questions later? It's very good. So, Vishnu, he was trying to protect his people. That's also not bad, no? Both of them. So just wait. Hear the rest of the story. Let me finish the story. Let me finish the story. You will see something mystical happening. So, Khyati, when her head was cut off, exactly when her head was cut off, Bhrigu Muni came back. And Bhrigu saw his wife was dead. And he got really angry on Vishnu. And in his great anger against Lord Vishnu, he cursed Vishnu that just like you have separated me from my wife, you will also get separated from your wife someday. And then he also cursed Vishnu that because you gave me so much pain, I curse you that you will take 7 births on earth. And that is, because of this curse, it explains the 7 incarnations of Vishnu coming on earth after that. It also explains the reason why in Ram Leela, Sita and Ram get separated. So it's one of the reasons of separation of Sita and Ram. Now, after cursing Vishnu, Bhrigu does something strange. He joins the head of his wife back to the body and he chants a mantra, she comes back to life. Now you're happy? Good. Vedic stories always have happy ending. So she comes back to life. Imagine, why did he curse him? Unnecessarily cursed him, basically. Anyway, so when Bhrigu was cursing Vishnu, Vishnu was doing something amazing. You know what Vishnu was doing? Vishnu was smiling. Now, this is a very important thing for us to learn from. When you are cursed, or when you go through an adversity in your life, how do you deal with an adversity? That determines a lot about your inner substance. There was once a man who heard about a sage who was very, very wise. And he wanted to go to the sage and learn from the sage. So this man went all the way. The sage lived in a desert. And he went all the way to meet this sage. And he told the saintly person, he said, I have so many problems in life. I have financial problem, I have wife problem, I have children problem, I have health problem, I have this problem, I have that. So many problems. He said, can you please help me with all my problems? The saintly person said, I'll definitely help you. It was already late in the evening. He said, can we talk tomorrow morning about your problems? He said, yes, anything. So the saintly person said, can you do me a small favor tonight? This man said, anything for you. You just tell me what I can do for you. The saint said, I have 100 camels. He had 100 camels standing in the next to the tent. And he said, before you go to sleep, just make these 100 camels sit down. And once they all sit down, then you can go to sleep. He said, yeah, no problem, I'll do it. So the saint went to sleep. And then, this fellow went to the camels. The next day morning, the saint met this guy. And he asked him, so how did you sleep? He said, I didn't sleep one moment also. He said, all night I've been trying to make these camels sit, When one camel sits, another camel stands up. And one camel I'm trying to make him sit, he's not sitting only, And one camel, without me telling only, he sits, He said, all through the night, there was not a moment when all the 100 camels were sitting. The saint said, that's exactly how life is. Problems in life are like these camels, Some of the problems stand up on their own without us asking, And some of the problems, without us doing anything, they sit on their own, Isn't it? So we are all trying to get all the problems to sit down. It will never ever happen that all your problems will sit down, And it will never happen that all your problems will stand up also. Life is like that, One problem will come, one problem will go. You have to learn to deal with all the problems with a smile. And that's exactly what Vishnu is trying to teach us through this story. So, while these demons were going through this crisis, in the meanwhile, very far away, Shukracharya was doing intense tapasya. And a part of this intense tapasya that he was doing was he was absorbed in a very powerful type of penance where he had to stand on his head for hundreds of years. He was standing on his head for hundreds of years and in a smoke-filled chamber. So imagine, there was a completely packed room filled with smoke and Shukracharya is standing on his head for hundreds of years in such a smoke-filled chamber. And he did this tapasya for so many years. And after doing years and years of this tapasya, finally, Lord Shiva appeared in front of him. And at the end of this whole tapasya that he did, Lord Shiva appeared and blessed Shukracharya. So the result of this tapasya was Shukracharya became very, very powerful. And after Lord Shiva blessed him and went away, Shukracharya gained a lot of powers. At that point, Shukracharya realized there is somebody in this room. So he was obviously, completely absorbed. But When he came back to consciousness, he realized there was somebody in this room. And there was one lady whose name was Jayanti. And this lady, she has been serving Shukracharya for so many years. Without Shukracharya asking anything from her, without Shukracharya even knowing that she is doing this. And she was living in the smoke-filled room, taking care of the body of Shukracharya. So when Shukracharya saw that she has been taking care of him for so many years without any expectation in return, he felt very touched. And he asked her, "What do you want? Please ask me for anything you want." And this lady, Jayanti, she said, "I would like to marry you." So Shukracharya eventually he got married with Jayanti and stayed with her for a few years. And after a few years, Shukracharya decided to come back to meet his disciples, the Daityas. In the meanwhile, the Daityas have been having a very strange experience. So Daityas were living with Bhrigu Muni and his wife, Khyati. One day, Shukracharya returns back. So the Daityas are very surprised. How did Shukracharya return back so quickly? He just seemed to have gone some time back for tapasya. Shukracharya said, "I have come back, I have completed my tapasya very fast. Now I want to take classes for y'all." So these demons, they have never attended any class till now. And suddenly he is saying, "Now we will start classes." Shukracharya said, "Every day, morning, evening class." So the demons were very bewildered because they're not used to sitting in one place, and they're not used to listening to philosophy and lectures and all that. Shukracharya, for the next 1 full year, every day, morning, evening, he gave class to these demons. And for 1 full year, every day he's telling them about mode of goodness. He's telling them about good association. He's telling them about honesty. He's telling them all things that they have never heard in their life. So the demons were confused. What is going on here? We have never heard all these things. But slowly, after 1 year period, they started liking what he's saying, and they started getting absorbed. They started, absorbing everything. One day, while the class was going on, the demons, they hear a shout from behind. They say, "I am your guru." The demons turn behind, they see Shukracharya standing there. So there is one Shukracharya in front of them, giving them lecture for last 1 year, and one new Shukracharya has come behind. Now the demons are confused, who is the real one? So the Shukracharya at the back is saying, "I am real, he is false." And the Shukracharya who is sitting on the Vyasasana, he is telling, "I have been giving you lecture for last 1 year, how can I be false? I am only real, he is false." So the demons were very confused now. They had to decide who is their real guru. So they looked at both of them. They rejected the person who was outside. They said, "You are a liar, you get out from here." And unfortunately, that happened to be the real Shukracharya. The person who was sitting with them, he was Brihaspati, the guru of the gods, who had taken the form of Shukracharya and trying to, educate these people. So when that Shukracharya saw that these demons had selected the wrong person, he cursed the demons. He said, "You fools, I am doing so much for y'all, you can't even recognize me. I curse all of you that you will suffer so much." And he walked away. And then the demons turned behind, hoping that they had made the right choice. And they saw Brihaspati sitting and smiling at them. So the demons realized they are in big trouble. So their original guru also is gone. And the duplicate guru walked away from their life. So like this, the demons, they experienced a lot of frustration. So, interestingly, if you look at the way in which the demons in that 1 year, they experience a transformation for a short duration of time, whatever it is actually very hope-giving. Every single person in this world has some goodness in them. Nobody is absolutely bad. There is absolutely no one in this world who is 100% bad. And there is no one in this world who is 100% good. Every good person has a bad side also, and every bad person has a good side also. So the demons now, they started experiencing a little bit of sattvagun in their lives because of 1 year of association with Brihaspati. It is explained that sunflowers are very beautiful flowers, isn't it? So sunflowers get light from the sun. So when the sun is shining very intensely on the sunflower, it blooms fully. But what happens when the sun is not shining so much and it's a cloudy day? A very interesting phenomena happens among sunflowers on cloudy days. You know what happens to sunflowers on cloudy days? Cloudy days, the sunflowers don't look up. They look at each other. They get inspiration from each other. So the sunflowers start looking at each other. Imagine, So that's the power of association. So if you cannot get association with somebody superior, you at least get association with somebody equal. The point is that warmth and kindness are something that spreads when we associate with kind people. And hatred and anger are things that spread when we associate with unkind people. So here, in the association of Brihaspati, a little bit of kindness arose in these demons. And that is why they actually felt Brihaspati is our real guru for one moment, In one sense, it is true. Because Brihaspati was helping them, attain something much more from a divine perspective. So now all the demons, they felt they have made a big mistake. They ran to their guru Shukracharya and they said, please, please help us. We beg forgiveness. We made a big blunder. We will never make a blunder like this. Shukracharya, he said, it is not your fault. All of you are innocent. And these demigods have tricked you all in this way. And he said, don't worry, I will take care of you all. Shukracharya went ahead and he did some powerful tapasya after that and he acquired a mantra. The mantra that he acquired was known as Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. So the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra is a very powerful mantra. Anyone who has a Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, he can bring a dead person back to life. You chant the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, the dead person comes back to life. So Shukracharya attained the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. After Shukracharya attained the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, he told the demons, go and attack the demigods. So the demons went full-fledged attack on the heavens. And while the fight was going on between the demons and the demigods, some strange things are happening in the fight. Indra, in the middle of the fight, he felt, this fellow I just killed some time back, how he's come back, And then all the other gods also felt, this fellow I killed him some time back, again he's come back. Every demon who was being killed, he was being revived by Shukracharya's Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. And they were coming back again and again and again. And the demigods realized they are in big trouble. They all ran to Vishnu. And they told Vishnu that God knows what is happening. None of the demons are dying properly, How many other times we kill them, they come back to life. Lord Vishnu told them, this Shukracharya has got the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. There is no way you can defeat him. So he said, go and hide somewhere. So all the demigods went and hid. They gave up their heavens, went and hid somewhere. But the demigods decided to implement a very interesting strategy. So Brihaspati had a son whose name was Kacha. Kacha was the name of the son of Brihaspati. Brihaspati sent his son Kacha to Shukracharya. Now Brihaspati and Shukracharya are enemies, isn't it? But when Kacha came to Shukracharya, he was a young boy, teenage boy, very beautiful looking boy, and a very intelligent boy. Kacha came to Shukracharya and he said, I want to be your student. Now Shukracharya knew that this fellow is a son of my enemy Brahaspati. But Shukracharya was a teacher. Even if an enemy's son comes, he couldn't say no. He said okay. And he kept Kacha with him. Imagine what kind of era that existed, An enemy's son is coming to you. All the other demons said, don't keep this fellow here. He is a very dangerous fellow. He has come here. It's surely a strategy of the demigods. Shukracharya said, no. He has come to me to study. I will teach him. And Kacha remained in Shukracharya's ashram as a student for many years. So as Kacha remained in the ashram of Shukracharya for many, many years, he obviously had an agenda for which he came, right? Brahaspati had sent him for a particular agenda. What was the agenda? The agenda was get the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. Learn the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra and come back. So Kacha remained in the Gurukul of Shukracharya only to learn the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. And Shukracharya felt, all the demons felt that this fellow has come to do something wrong. But Shukracharya felt, no, he must be a good person. He kept him. Externally, it is very difficult to recognize people. The Mahabharata says that whoever you are, there are 4 things in every human being. The first thing is expertise and skills. Every human being has some expertise and some skills. It's easy to understand. Like somebody may be very skilled in coding. Easy to understand, expertise. Somebody may be very skilled in speaking. Somebody may be very skilled in playing musical instruments. Whatever your skills are, it is very easy to understand. The Mahabharata says there is a second thing every human being has. And that is external behavior. It's called loyalty to adopted values. External behavior also is very easy to understand, isn't it? If a person says thank you, if a person says please, if a person says sorry, if a person smiles well, if a person holds door open for you, it is all good behavior. Very easy to understand somebody who is well behaved, somebody who is not well behaved, isn't it? The Mahabharata says there is a third thing that every human being has, which is internal character. Now, internal character is not easy to understand. Skills are easy to understand. Behavior is easy to understand. But internal character is not easy to understand. You meet a person once, you can easily make out how skilled he is, and you can easily make out how well behaved he is. But can you make out how honest he is? You can't. In one meeting, you can't come to know how honest he is. Maybe after a few weeks or few months of meeting the person, you will get to know how honest he is. But the Mahabharata says there is a fourth thing that you will almost never get to know. You know what is the fourth thing? Mahabharata says the fourth thing is purpose. Why you are doing the first 3? What is the purpose behind your skills? What is the purpose behind your good behavior? And what is your purpose behind showing good character? Unless you know the purpose, you will not be able to actually understand a person completely. Interestingly, there are people who are very skilled and there are people who are very well behaved. And there are people who are apparently externally showing good character also. But the purpose may be totally wrong. Like for example, there might be someone who is a terrorist for all you know, but very skilled guy and behaving also very well in society. Nobody will ever doubt that this fellow has wrong intentions. And externally might be honest also, doing very well in his business and whatever, But how do you know a person unless you know the purpose of why he is doing the first 3? So here, Kacha apparently came here very well behaved, very, very skilled, and showing excellent character. But the demons always felt there is a gadbad in his purpose. There is something wrong in his purpose. Why he is here? Shukracharya never doubted his purpose. Shukracharya said, he's come as a student to me, I will teach him everything. So, the demons, even after their teacher had full faith in the disciple, they decided to observe him. The teacher is like the sun. The sun shines on all places equally. If a place where there is a bottle of perfume fallen, sun shines over there, absorbs that bottle of perfume, isn't it? And in a place somebody has passed urine, there also sun shines and absorbs the urine. Do you think the sun becomes yucky when it absorbs urine and starts becoming fragrant when it is? So the sun is unaffected. The teacher, the acharya, is like the sun. He gives same amount of light and energy to all his students. It depends on you, how much you absorb now. So Shukracharya, he decided to teach Kacha. Very soon Kacha became the favorite student of Shukracharya. Shukracharya loved him. He would not start a single lesson without Kacha sitting there. And all the other demons who were attending Shukracharya's sessions, they hated Kacha. Because they always doubted his purpose. And they kept a watch on him. One day, they saw Kacha. So, one of the services the Kacha had to do was tend the cows in the forest. So, one day, they saw Kacha sending a message through one of the birds to his father Brihaspati. The moment the demons saw Kacha sending this message to the demigods, the demons attacked Kacha. They chopped him to small, small pieces and they killed him. Next, Shukracharya was waiting for his disciple to come back. Kacha is not coming back only. And then Shukracharya's daughter, her name was Devyayani. She went to her father and he said, Kacha has not come. Now Shukracharya, obviously he came to know Kacha has not come, but he didn't understand why Devyayani is saying Kacha has not come. Shukracharya didn't understand that Devyayani actually had fallen in love with Kacha. She liked him very much. That day, Shukracharya came to know about this. And Devyayani said, I will not eat till Kacha comes back. And in the evening, Devyayani and Shukracharya, they went to search for Kacha in the forest. And in the forest, they saw all these, the body parts of Kacha being thrown here and there. And then Shukracharya came to know that these demons have killed him. Devyayani started crying. Shukracharya couldn't handle her cry. He chanted the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. As soon as Shukracharya chanted the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, all the small parts of Kacha's body started assembling together. And zoop, suddenly Kacha was standing alive, completely normal, And Devyayani is so happy, she went and hugged him, And then they came back. And the demons were shocked to see Kacha alive over here, So the demons didn't say anything. They kept quiet. They waited for another opportunity when this Kacha goes again to the forest. And again they followed this fellow. And when Kacha was alone, they jumped on him, attacked him, cut him into small, small parts. This time, they not only cut in small parts, they burnt all the parts. And they burnt it and took that, the ash, and they went back to the ashram with the ash. And they mixed the ash in some juice, some very strange type of drink they made, hot drink, And they went to give it to their guru, Shukracharya. Please, we have made a hot drink for you. Imagine what kind of guys. Their own guru, they are doing this to him, Very dangerous fellows, You can, see, when a human being is obsessed about something, they don't know what they're doing only. So, Shukracharya drank that without understanding what it is made up of, basically. We tend to trust people, right? So he drank that. And then Devyani came back again, that saying that Kacha is missing, So that Shukracharya was really disappointed. Again Kacha is missing. They went to the forest again. This time they searched all over the forest. They couldn't even get Kacha's body. And then Shukracharya, he sat down with his yogic tapasya. He sat and he tried to find out where Kacha is. And then he found out Kacha is inside him only. So Shukracharya got the shock of his life when he realized Kacha is inside him. And then Shukracharya told Devyani, what to do? Kacha, I drank Kacha, Devyani said, nothing doing, I want Kacha back, I can't live without Kacha. So Shukracharya was, completely confused, what to do? So he told her, see, either I will be alive or Kacha will be alive. Devyani said, no, nothing doing, I want both of you all alive. You do whatever you want, but get Kacha alive and get you also should be alive. So now Shukracharya was completely bewildered and completely confused. He didn't know what to do. And then he realized there is only one thing he can do. The only thing he can do is trust his disciple. So Shukracharya, he spoke to Kacha who was within him. He told Kacha, I am trusting you completely. He said, I am going to chant the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. And the moment I chant the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, I will blast. And you will come back to life. But after you come back to life, you please revive me. So then Shukracharya chanted the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. The moment he chanted the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, from within his body there was a massive blast. And from inside the body of Shukracharya, Kacha, who was digested the stomach of Shukracharya, burst open and he came back alive. And Shukracharya was like splattered all over the room. And then now Kacha had what he wanted, right? He came there for the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra, isn't it? Now he had a choice. He can just go back to his house because he had achieved what he wanted to achieve, isn't it? And Shukracharya would have died. But Kacha felt, my guru, my teacher has given his life for me. So it is my duty to revive him. So Kacha chanted the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra and instantly Shukracharya was revived. He came back to life. Shukracharya embraced his disciple and he said, I am very proud of you. He blessed Kacha like anything. And instantly Devyani came running to embrace Kacha. Kacha said, stay away from me. So Devyani was shocked. Why is he saying stay away from me? Kacha, he said, both of us are now born from the same father. Technically, Shukracharya has become the father of Kacha, right? Because Kacha was born from Shukracharya again, So she said, now I can't, marry you. And that is how, and Shukracharya's confidence in his disciple became even more, seeing the way he's dealing. And that is how Shukracharya got great confidence in Kacha. Kacha obviously went back to his father's kingdom, Brahaspati's kingdom, and he lived with the demigods. But when he went back now, he went back with a big realization. He had got the Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. But he realized the mantra that he learned is not the real Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. There is something else which is the real Mrita Sanjeevani mantra. And that realization is what the essence of this particular story is. So what is the real Mrita Sanjeevani mantra that Kacha learnt? So now I'm going to help you analyze the entire story to help you understand this, which is the essence of the story. So there are two types of people here in this story, right? There are the Daityas who are evil and there are the gods who are supposed to be good. So the Daityas, they are evil people, which means they do papa, which means they do sin. And the Devatas, they are good people, which means they do punya. So now, by the dint of punya, they acquire a lot, the devatas, right? They acquire a lot of wealth, they'll acquire a lot of prosperity, they acquire a lot of, richness, knowledge, everything they acquire by the dint of punya. And why they need all these merits? They need all these merits so that they can be happy in life, isn't it? But the Daityas, they are evil people because they do papa, and what is the main understanding of papa? Papa means, sin means, I snatch from others. I snatch from others. I don't want to work hard, and I want to steal from others. The main difference between demigods and Daityas is that demigods work hard to achieve whatever they achieve, and Daityas snatch it from them. What is the hard work they do? The hard work they do is taking away from others. Even to take away from others, you need to work hard, isn't it? So, essentially, the devatas, they do punya so that they can enjoy. And Daityas, they do papa so that they can enjoy. So essentially both of them are doing the same thing in one sense. One is doing it in a good way and one is doing it in a bad way. But essence of both is that they want to enjoy, and the reason they want to enjoy is so that they are happy. Kacha lived with the demigods also. He was born with them. His father was a demigod. But Kacha also lived with the Daityas. His guru was a Daitya. He lived with the Daityas for a long period of time. And after living for a long period of time with the Daityas, Kacha came to a very important conclusion in life. The very important conclusion that Kacha came to in life was that both good and bad are both bad. The good people also want to enjoy and want to be happy in life. The bad people also want to enjoy and be happy in life. Both of them want to be happy in life. So, apparently, the devatas, the good people, they are trying to work hard to be happy. And the bad people are trying to snatch to be happy. But the interesting thing is that the devatas also cheat. Brahaspati took the form of Shukracharya to cheat. Brahaspati sent Kacha to the Shukracharya ashram to get the Mata Sanjivani mantra by cheating, So good people are also cheating. And the bad people are supposed to be bad. He saw goodness in them. He saw in Shukracharya so much goodness. He was supposed to be the guru of the evil people, but he was so transparent as far as being a guru is concerned. Even though Kacha was sent over there to take the Mata Sanjivani mantra from him, to cheat him, and Shukracharya knew. In fact, the demons told him, this fellow has come here to cheat you. Still he said, okay, I'll teach you. So Kacha saw the goodness in Shukracharya. He saw the goodness in Devyani. He saw in the demigods, those are supposed to be really good, he saw badness in them. He saw that they're also trying to cheat. They're also trying to, do wrong things. And Kacha realized both of them, they're doing what they're doing only for one reason. The reason is that they want to be happy. According to Kacha, the real Mrita Sanjivani mantra is go beyond happiness. Look for satisfaction in life. As long as we want to be happy in life, we will do anything and everything to be happy, including cheat others, including hurt others, including harm others. And instead of trying to be only happy in life, if we learn to be satisfied in life, what is the meaning of satisfaction? Simple. What is it that the demigods don't have? They have everything, but still they want more. What is it that the Daityas don't have? They have so much, but still they want more. The quest for happiness pushes you towards more and more and more and more. The interesting thing about happiness is that the more you get, the more you want. Isn't it? If I have iPhone 14, is it going to be enough? iPhone 15 will come very soon, So, whatever you have in your life today, don't think your happiness is going to stop there. You are definitely going to look for more. And the quest for happiness never ends. Krishna, in the Gita, he speaks this very beautiful verse. He says, Yahi samsparsha jaboga dukkha yoneva evate adi antavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. He says, when you look for happiness based on external things, yahi samsparsha jaboga. Samsparsha means senses coming in touch with sense objects. When happiness arises out of senses coming in touch with sense objects, that happiness is Adi Antavanta Kaunteya. It has a beginning, it has an end. For example, when a relationship begins, so much excitement. When the relationship ends, so much misery. When you're eating a gulab jamun, the first bite of the gulab jamun, so much ecstasy. And the same gulab jamun, if you continue eating, thinking that the more I eat, the more ecstasy I'll get, after 10 gulab jamuns, you'll be miserable. Isn't it? Anybody tried eating 10 gulab jamuns? Your head will pain so much. It's miserable. So anything that begins with happiness ends with misery. Adi Antavanta Kaunteya. And Krishna is saying, the only way to get out of this is, instead of looking for happiness, start looking for satisfaction, which is born from within. Na teshu ramate buddha. So the word ramana, there's a difference between the word sukha and the word ananda. Sukha means happiness. And the word ananda also seems to be happiness, but actually two different things. Sukha is happiness that comes from external things. So here, the demigods and the demons, they were constantly in the pursuit of sukha. The demigods were trying to get sukha, and these demons are trying to stop them. And the demons are trying to get sukha, the demigods are trying to stop them. The demigods are trying to cheat the demons are trying to cheat the demigods. Endless pursuit of sukha. Kacha had a very important realization in his, his experience of being with the Daityas and with the demigods. He realized, I don't want to pursue sukha, but I want to pursue ananda. Ananda is happiness that arises from within. It is not based on externals. It is based on the state of heart, state of the mind. And completely Kacha was convinced that I neither want to be a demigod nor I want to be a demon. I want to be something in between. So this whole idea of not looking for happiness but for looking for satisfaction, according to Kacha, this is the Mutta Sanjeevani mantra. The external Mutta Sanjeevani mantra that his guru taught him, that is as far as the physical body is concerned, isn't it? And anything that is connected to the physical body, it is going to be causing what is known as sukha. And it has a beginning, it has an end. But when you look for something much deeper, which is ananda, which is not dependent on external things, that is the happiness that lasts for a lifetime and much, much beyond. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments, please? Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks so much, Prabhu, for the very inspiring lecture. And I had never heard the story of Kacha. Even the name Kacha I had not heard. I thought Kacha is kind of which breaks easily, but this story gave a different meaning to Kacha. Prabhu, I have one question. You said four things are important: skills, behavior, character, and purpose. So sometimes I have a bigger perspective of the purpose. Finding a purpose in life, actually struggling for the last 5 years to find the purpose of life, and I've read multiple books on that, but I'm still struggling. So, if you can give me some insights how I can drive towards purpose, so that is the one question. And the second, to your story, there is the word santushti and ananda. Santushti generally we thought is satisfaction. So, what's the difference?
Yeah.
So, both the questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
So as far as your first question is concerned, that itself is a full session by itself. But I'll tell you in essence something that might give you some direction towards it. So the idea of purpose is always connected with the idea of what you are gifted. Every one of us have some gift that God has given us. And the gift is supposed to be our contribution to society and our way of expressing ourselves in the best possible way. So the day you find your gift, that is the day you will actually start finding your purpose. Very often, what you love to do is what you should do. So a lot of people, they love to do something, but they're actually doing something else. Isn't it? The day what you love to do is what you do, that's the day you find your purpose. From that day onwards, you don't have to work. Every day is a joyful experience, basically. So Varnashram was originally designed to be in that way. Varnashram system was designed to be in a way where what we love to do is what you should do. Obviously now the whole thing has become a big khichdi because we have to earn money also, we have to survive also, and then there are different things that we love also. So it's become a complicated mess. So in essence, what I would like to tell you is this. You can begin by doing this simple exercise. Every week, you should definitely do what you have to do. But along with what you have to do, you also should spend some time every week doing what you love to do. And as you keep doing what you love to do on a consistent basis, there will be one point in time where you can devote your entire life to doing what you love to do. Start by doing it a little every week. And then you will find a way ahead in your own journey. Okay? Experiment. Nobody can give you the answer. That's the answer that only you can give yourself. So how will I ever know what you love to do? I would not know. And how would you ever know what you love to do unless you try 100 different things? Right? There will be one thing, it will click so intensely for you, you will say, this is what I want to do in life. It will happen. And it will happen for every one of us. Provided we are ready to do the experiment with many, many things. Till we freeze on that one thing, basically. Isn't it? Okay. And as far as your second question is concerned, Ananda is, if I translate it into simple words, it is a state of mind. So when I'm saying it is happiness that begins from within, what I'm really trying to say is that Ananda is a state of being, when you are most contented and satisfied. So external things, the more we want things on an external level, the more dissatisfied we are, isn't it? no matter how many external things you get, is there ever a time we say, enough, I've had enough? Impossible. No matter what your bank balance is today, you will always think that if I only have another $10,000, I'll be so happy. Is no end only. So anything that is dependent on external things, there is no cap to it. There is no end to it. But something that is dependent on something much deeper and internal, it actually gives you a sense of satisfaction. That is how Ananda and Santushti, they're connected with each other. Okay? Thank you. Anything else? Any other question? Yes, Mataji. Yeah, you can just speak loudly. I'll repeat the question for... Yeah. So, there's a very interesting concept in the Niti, which says, yeah, so I'll repeat the question. The question is, as far as material happiness and satisfaction, it's pretty clear that we should be satisfied in life. But as far as spiritual life is concerned, should we actually be satisfied? That's the question. So I'm answering that question. So, in my understanding, so the Niti Shastras, they speak about there are 3 things in life that you should always be satisfied with. And there are 3 things in life you should never be satisfied with. So, the 3 things that you should always be satisfied with are the food that you eat, the quality of food that you eat. You should always be satisfied with it. Your spouse, your partner, you should always be satisfied with. And third, the amount of money that you earn, should always be satisfied with it. And the 3 things that you should never be satisfied with are charity, the amount of dana that you give, the amount of charity that you give, never be satisfied with it. The amount of chanting that you do, should never be satisfied with it. And the amount of swadhyaya, study of scriptures that you do, should never be satisfied with it. So, this is the answer to your question. So, unfortunately, people are most dissatisfied with the first 3 things. Most dissatisfied with the money they earn, the food they eat, and the partner they have. Isn't it? And they are very satisfied with chanting they do. They say, I'm chanting so much, and they're very satisfied with the scriptures that they study. They say, I have studied a lot, and they're very satisfied with that. And they say, I have given so much in charity already. So our understanding of satisfaction is very misconstrued, basically. Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Yes, Anand. Yeah. 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 So, Mataji's question is, what is satisfaction in spiritual life? Should we be thinking that I need to do more, or should we be thinking that I need to find satisfaction? What exactly it is? So, in my understanding, satisfaction is a byproduct of practicing spiritual life. So, when you practice spiritual life very nicely, the result of that is that you become peaceful. And also, the basis of spiritual life is peace. Varnashram, when you are a part of the Varnashram system, Varnashram is like a platform. So to climb into a train, you need a platform, right? Without the platform also you can climb on the train, but it will become a big circus. It's very difficult. Varnashram is like a platform to get into the train of spiritual life. So now, if you have that platform gives you a peaceful disposition. And in that peaceful disposition, you can enter into the train of spirituality very easily. Imagine if you didn't have enough money and resources. Would you be sitting in this place? Most probably not, isn't it? Because we have our basic needs taken care of, we can sit peacefully and hear Harikatha. If our basic need is not taken care of, there is no question of philosophy. There is no question of spiritual practice. You tell someone in an empty stomach, chant Hare Krishna, that person will not be able to handle it. When your stomach is full, then you tell to chant Hare Krishna, then you will chant nicely. So the point is that satisfaction and peace is simultaneously the prerequisite for spiritual life and also the result of spiritual life. So in the beginning, there is a different type of satisfaction that you need to be able to practice spiritual life. But when you practice spiritual life, you will experience a different type of satisfaction. So the first satisfaction is rather a sense of duty. And the second satisfaction is a sense of gratitude. Okay? Hari Hari. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments, please? Okay. So we'll end today's session. Tomorrow's session is going to be the last session for this series. We're going to be discussing another very, very interesting story from our scriptures again. This is going to be the story of I'm not going to tell you what story it is. It'll be a surprise. But it'll again be a crazy story like this. It's a story that you would have probably never heard before. But it'll be another mind-blowing story that will teach you a very important principle of life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, Shuba Vilas Prabhu, for very, very entertaining and valuable lessons for life today. So tomorrow again, evening 7:30, but more importantly, mornings 10:30, there is children session. It will be very, very interesting, much more than what we had experienced now. So please bring your kids and 10:30, Prabhu. 10:30, right? Temple Hall, same place. Thank you.